Yeah, I'm Spider-Man. What do you want? Yeah, get on to work. I'm swinging over here. What up, Neos? It's Yusef for another good game no one played. This time it's Amazing Spider-Man. I would love some likes for this video, so hit the like button. I will do a plot summary for sure, though. I've been meaning to. So, on my other channel, I've played about 5 or 6 Spider-Man games, and I've seen the second Spider-Verse trailer. I'm pretty excited because it has Spider-Man 2099, but in the comic, he was pretty chill. In this movie, though, he was a little anal retentive. Seriously, though, do we need to set up a movie where one biracial Latino Spider-Man is mad at a darker biracial Latino Spider-Man? I know that it probably isn't what they're going for, but Miguel O'Hara having issues with Miles Morales is, well, So I actually own the games with Spider-Man 2099, Shattered Dimension, and The Edge of Time. And Edge of Time was my favorite out of the two. But I haven't played that for the channel, so Amazing Spider-Man it is. What I think is pretty great about Amazing Spider-Man is that it is a tie-in game to the movie, but it has its own original plot. The game takes place after the movie, and in the movie, Dr. Connors turns into the Lizard and tries to turn New York's population into a bunch of lizard people. More than they already are. And in this game, after Norman Osborn dies, the company is being run by Alistair Smythe. For those of you who aren't privy, Alistair Smythe is best known as the guy that worked for the Kingpin, making Spider Slayer robots to kill your boy Spider-Man. In the show, he was handicapped. He tried to figure things out behind the Kingpin's back, and the Kingpin would just knock him out of his wheelchair. Later on in the comics, Alistair Smythe decided he was going to make his own Spider Slayer body and try to attack Spider-Man with it. But bad guys are always a little thrown off by Spider-Man because he can lift 10 tons, and he doesn't really tell people that. There's only a few times where Spider-Man has actually had to really display his Spidey strength. So he's always jumping around everywhere making light work of the bad guys. That's why the bad guys always have to attack him with some extenuating circumstance. They really want to kill Spider-Man, but when they go after Spider-Man directly, he just kind of dodges and flips around and then puts web on him. It's actually kind of funny. In this game, Smythe is running a couple of projects at Oscorp. He has nanobots, he has regular robotics, and he has the remnants of the gene splicing project that Dr. Connors got busted for. Your inexplicably super smart lab technician from high school, Gwen Stacy, sneaks Peter into Oscorp so that he can check things out. Pete's got a press pass. Together they discover the gene splicing project is still going on, even though it was supposed to be terminated. On top of that, the gene-spliced rodent people are contagious. So Peter and Gwen have to transfer a man monster, and it has a reaction to Peter's Spidey blood. The monster can sense that Peter has Spidey blood and should be half spider. Gets really pissed off because Peter looks like a normal human, whereas this dude looks like a freak. So he busts out and starts biting people. An open-world Spider-Man game where he has to control an outbreak that's turning citizens into monsters? I've never played one of those games before. Oh my god. Even though I bag on these stories a lot because the premise is so handy during a time when zombies are all the rage, I think that for a Spider-Man story, this was pretty decent. Compared to the movie, it was excellent. The movie spent a lot of time building the story between Gwen and Spider-Man, and even though I think that Andrew Garfield is adorkable, and he has my vote for the cutest Spidey in the Spider-Verse, I'm not a fan of watching Spider-Man bust slobs with other women. The interesting thing about Spider-Man was that anytime he really got something going with Mary Jane, he would get pulled away to do Spidey action. But in this movie, he seems to have all the time in the world to have a relationship with Gwen, and I don't think most of the dudes were here for it. When you make a Spider-Man movie that focuses on his romantic relationships, I think you miss the whole point of a superhero movie. I mean, I get what they were trying to do with Gwen because of Amazing Spider-Man 2, but you don't want Gwen to be annoying. Also, Emma Stone, probably the least cutest Spidey love interest. I mean, Emma Stone is fine, and she's very popular at the time of the movie, and they needed some star power. Everybody else was little known, even Andrew Garfield was. But Emma Stone has one of those faces that the more you look at it, the more you kind of see things that don't work out right, like the eyes are too big, and her mouth is a little too wide apart, and makes her teeth look big. They put all the makeup on her eyes and lips so you don't notice where her nose is, and she kind of just ends up looking like one of those Bratz figures after a while. And Gwen Stacy was already played by Bryce Howard in the third Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I mean, Bryce Howard. Running from dinosaurs in high heels, Bryce Howard. Yeah, man, that's a no for me. And tell me in the comments if you'd rather go on a date with Emma Stone over Bryce Howard. Now, I'm not saying that Bryce Howard should have played opposite Andrew Garfield, but goodness gracious, man, get another cute girl. Like one that has sustainability over 2 movies. So, now that I've objectified all the actors playing Spidey characters, let's talk about the actual game, hey? They don't even use the likenesses of these characters anyway, so it doesn't matter. So this is your basic Spider-Man open world affair where they want you to enjoy swinging, but it's not very interesting after you've done it for about 20 minutes. So they give you a ton of collectibles. The comic book collectibles are pretty cool because they make a little noise and you can locate them using your headphones pretty easily. Oh, I hear it.
What have we
Oh, I was
here?
right on top of it. How about that? There's a few extra features that I think are cool in the open world, and the devs start letting Spider-Man use his cell phone while he's web swinging more often, and also Spider-Man can Did I say Spider-Man? Yo, real talk, this is the 3rd time I've done this thing, and I've called him Spider-Man in this exact same spot 3 times, or this is the 3rd time. This is ridiculous. Anyway. And also, Spider-Man can follow social media and look at the comments during loading screens, which is a nice touch. Once you finish web swinging to the locations you need to get into, you go into a different mode where everything is like individual stages. See, this is reasonably new for Spidey games. Now, previously, you would either get stages like Shattered Dimensions or the PS1 Spider-Man, or you would get straight open world objectives, and going indoors would trigger a cutscene or a boss fight and then put you back outside later. The two really didn't mix at all. Well, here they do. At first, people just kind of give you assignments. You go to different buildings and then you take pictures of things. But then as the plot goes on, you gotta destroy spider slayers and stuff. It's pretty good. I think they could have done a little bit better, but I always think that in every Spider-Man game, so I guess it's okay.
It must be hot underneath that. There! How's that? Just like David and Goliath, except I'm much cooler, and I wear underpants.
In Amazing Spider-Man stages, Spider-Man borrows combat from the Batman Arkham games in which he uses his Spidey sense to counter. It allows you a chance to focus on one person and then interrupt your moves to counter someone attacking you from behind. In previous Spidey games, they really only utilized the Peter Tingle for when you were getting shot at. And some of them would only allow Spider-Man to dodge moves and not really counter. But in this one, Spider-Man's counter gets him out of trouble, and he's kind of invincible while he's doing his animations, so I think that's dope. Holy crap, I'm actually doing pretty good here, man. This is some clutch fighting. I was about to die a second ago. Turned it around. Should you find that you're getting your butt handed to you, though, then Spider-Man has a web zip move that zips him into a shadowy corner, and no one without a light can see him. which I think is cool, but it's a little corny. And Spider-Man has health regeneration, and the web zip thing is a get out of jail free card. So you end up zipping into corners instead of fighting your way out of bad situations. The checkpoints are reasonably generous, so it's not necessary to get out of jail free like that. However, I don't know how you would structure the rest of the game without it. In addition to regular melee fighting and web zipping your way out of danger, you also have a stealth mode, which is what you'll do the majority of the fighting with. Because a lot of guys have guns, you don't want to deal with too many people firing at you at once. So you'll want to identify the men with the guns first, and then take them out so that you can beat up regular people with melee attacks. Also, the stealth takedowns are way more fun than the fighting. And I think the game did a really good job of giving you the payoff for being covert. I wouldn't like to do either of those modes exclusively because it would make the game boring. So I think that giving Spidey a couple of ways to approach a problem and almost forcing you to strategize is a nice touch. A nice touch stolen from the Arkham games. Shout out to Spidey Noir though. One of the things that I love about games from this era is that Spider-Man gets to fight big-ass monsters. When you have all of New York as a sandbox and you're not able to give Spider-Man something to do other than beat up car thieves, it kind of makes me sleepy. But every now and then, in the story, they will throw a big, huge colossus at you. And I do enjoy that change of pace as well. Especially since the scale of everything turns it into more of a spectacle. So that's all I have. I haven't played the second Amazing Spider-Man game, and I am excited to play it because of all the complaints that everybody made about the glitches. And if the glitches are in the open world New York part of the game, I'll be fine. A lot of times when I play the games, the glitches are kind of negligible, so I don't understand why people complain so much. But it's fun to see if these sorts of bugs can really throw me off. Most of the time it's not the glitches that make me mad anyway. It's when the gameplay itself handicaps you, instead of just providing more of a challenge. Anyway, thanks for watching. Can we get 30 likes on this video, please? Subscribe for more content. Thank you for freeing me like Neo freed Agent Smith. Oh, and check out the playlist of the other Spider-Man games that I've reviewed and plot summarized. Peace.